Well, in this video, we will learn how to adjust, how to regulate the tensioner of the old ball machines, and how to adjust the thread take-up spring, how to take it apart piece by piece, how to assemble it, and in case the spring is broken, let's see how we set it up and how to adjust the tensioner again so that the tensioner is right. Well, then for more comfort, I will lower the cover and we are going to adjust the tensioner piece by piece. Here we have the cover complete. Now we are going to lower the tensioner piece by piece, carefully analyzing so you don't get the parts mixed up. First we remove the fastening nut that holds all the pieces on the stud, and we will start placing them each one in its order. If you don't get confused, we remove the spring presser just as it is to the second. Then we have the tensioner spring. Then we have the pressure washer of the discs. We already have some of the discs in the fourth, and then the second disc that is coming soon. The most complicated here, we see the spring. Now we are going to remove the screw which holds this part that secures the spring in this section, which we can lower or raise depending on the tension we want the spring to have. Meaning, if we want it to lower more or to raise more, we are going to loosen it. Here we loosen it and we see how we can now move this piece, which is the one that holds the spring. We see how the metal part moves. So depending on where we move the screw, this is its position, which we can adjust for the spring to lower more or rise more depending on the thread tension. Then to take out the inside part, including the spring, we must loosen and remove the screw. We put it aside. Now we are going to loosen the screw that holds the stud where all the pieces go and remove it. We don't need to take it out completely, we loosen it a little. And we see how the stud emerges where all the pieces go. We remove the thread throw spring, which is good. We are only doing this so you can learn in case you don't have it, don't want to install it, or it has broken, and this part on the stud helps us raise or lower the thread pulling spring. Here we have the whole piece. If many people have it, they have nothing and are going to mount the tensioner along with the spring and must start from scratch. So this would be ideal. So we are going to keep in mind, and we are going to find that on the stud we see these slots, we see these grooves, which the thread tension spring should be like this. One of these slots should hold this part of the spring so that the spring maintains its tension. If this part of the spring, if it comes out of the asparagus slot, it will not exert any tension on the spring. It will end up loose and will not affect the machine, nor will it cause any tension. So we are going to position the little cross of the spring and we place it to fit into one of these slots. In any of them, there's no problem. We make it fit there and see how moving the spring creates tension, and we start assembling the pieces just as they were. Separately we set aside we mount this piece with something like this. We see that here is the hole in which the screw, which helps us, well, the part that helps us hold the spring is inside there. Let's remember that it is held by a screw, which is the one we are going to put in. We have the rod with the spring. Now we are going to insert it towards the side over there, where the spring goes, where it fits. We insert the machiner, and now we are going to tighten this screw, which is the one holding the stud to the entire tensioner. We press it firmly. And we see how the spring tension is, which we will adjust right away. Here we see how it is turning out. We see that if we try with the finger, we see that it is already exerting good pressure. Now we are going to put the screw that holds this piece, which helps us tighten the spring. The screw hole should be completely visible, and we proceed to insert the screw, tightening it a little, and we can move it up or down with pressure. Here we see that when we move the screw, we see that the base holding the spring moves, and we can lower or raise it. Once we're sure it's right, we tighten the screw, and there we see that it reaches the bottom and then goes up to its natural path. Here we see it is firm. So we start assembling piece by piece the first disc.
Second disc too.
Retention washer for the discs. The spring, the tensioner spring, then the tensioner spring cover, which does not hold it. And then we put on the nut that holds the entire tensioner. We lower it, tighten it, it holds everything for us and is completely ready. Part of the tensioner with its spring, and now we proceed to mount the tensioner plate on the machine, thread it, and it's ready for sewing.